Welcome to Pricing College with your hosts Aidan Campbell
and Joanna Wells.
The more things change, the more they stay the same is an old saying. And today we really want to look into it and whether the recent trends in many areas of business, particularly things like hotels, etc., whereby it used to be all you pay up front and you get everything, so bed and breakfast, everything's included. Same with airlines or travel, and then it moved towards more and more unbundling and depackaging, and you pay separately for different items and those sort of aspects. So we really want to dig into that today and ask, has that reached the maximum, and is it swinging back the other way?
Yeah, I mean, we do see a lot of trends for, bundling things and then unbundling it. And I just wonder if, these are trends driven by data and a scientific approach in the market, or whether, businesses, in a way, either guessing or, chancing their arm to boost revenue. But I think that the problem here is if you don't do unbundling strategically, very much like bundling offers strategically, what will happen is, yes, you may boost revenue in the short term. However, over the mid to long term, customers get annoyed. They want the full offer, and it starts becoming just a bit of hard work to buy from businesses, such as, let's think about airlines unbundling, even the food used to be bundled in the offer. You used to know where you're going to sit, and then after a time, now you don't know where you're going to sit, unallocated seats. It just becomes an awkward customer experience. It's just a bit annoying, and customers really don't like that. And now this is why there's an emphasis on customer experience, partly because of the unbundling issue that we're speaking about. So yeah, we've got to really think about not just the short-term effects, but the longer-term effects of unbundling offers.
So let's dig into why companies do unbundle things. And in many ways, it's a sensible pricing strategy. It aligns with many things that we've spoken about on this podcast, whereby you want to really segment your market. And rather than, just selling one ticket and everyone pays the same price for the ticket on the boat or the plane, you can hugely differentiate. You can pay aisle seating extra, you can priority boarding extra, you can do 50 to 100 different types of excess baggage. You can have different meals, you can have different entertainment, so it can be a very different experience for people on that flight. And that makes a lot of sense. It really is what we've spoken about in so many aspects of this show. And when you look at it, the companies who have done that, the airlines who have done it, are more profitable, are more sustainable. They haven't gone through, haven't been bought out by competitors. And we're looking at people like Ryanair, Southwest Airlines, etc., which we're pretty confident will bounce back when COVID decreases or declines. But the thing is, have they pushed it too far to the point where people are just, is there a happy place? Is there a sweet spot that after you go past that, it just gets into the area of gouging? And there's consistent rumours that Ryanair will even charge you to use the bathroom on flights, and these sort of things are rumours, but they highlight that people have a breaking point, and where that breaking point is, who knows?
Yeah, I know that they are rumours, but I think by unbundling too much, Ryanair has set the tone of they're basically saying expect anything from us, because we may charge for separate items, we may charge you for the toilet. They never say we're not going to do it. It's always on the agenda, and it's almost, for the consumer, it's a risk for them to then even go on the flight, because you just know it's just going to be an awful experience. You're not going to enjoy it. It's like grin and bear it, just go from A to B. But those are the sort of people they're attracting. They've done the research over years, and they know that their price-sensitive audience for their particular offer, airlines, has been very successful. So that in a way, you get what you pay for. If you want more, you pay more. And really, that's the overarching strategy and messaging from Ryanair. They're like, if you want to pay more, go somewhere else. But this is what you're going to get from us. But I think over time, people even have been surprised by how difficult it is to fly with Ryanair, and just the experience has been quite shockingly bad. So maybe there, as Aidan said, there is a sweet spot. Maybe they're moving back to offering a bit more value in the ticket price than before. But yeah, again, it goes back to, really understanding your market before making any immediate price changes or changes to your offers. Is there something else that we could be doing other than just unbundling offers?
I think, and we'll go with the airline industry. The Ryanair example is really an extreme example of it, partly because of the media coverage, but it leads to the customer service aspect of it really decreases, whereby you get to the position where you don't think you can ask for anything, or any complaint or problem, you're pretty sure it won't be solved. You're pretty sure that if it's not in the legal terms and conditions, they will not go above and beyond to solve your problem. So realistically, the customer service, it's almost like advertising or signalling to you that the customer service is going to be low, and if they can wiggle out of providing you with a solution to your problem, they will. Whether that is correct or false, that's the way many people see it. The other point I'd like to add is, you look at the hotel industry, where the classic is breakfast included, and if you're looking to book a hotel, your breakfast will be there included. And I would assume the vast majority of people, specifically on holidays, maybe business travel is a bit different because you're up early in the morning with a specific task for the day. But if you're on holidays, with family or couple or whatever it is, in most cases you want breakfast in the hotel included because it's convenient. You don't have to stress. You don't have to bring your wallet with you unless you're tipping. Those sort of aspects. So it's nice and easy. By the hotels charging the breakfast separately, I'd like to look at the numbers from some big hotel chains and see how that really does. How does that impact? Does separating the breakfast out, does it actually decrease room sales? Should breakfast almost not be a loss leader in some aspects, that if you might be loss making on them or even just break even, but you're keeping people in the hotel, you're getting them to book more rooms, you're making them happier. Fundamentally, do you not want people to be in the hotel where they might book a tour with you, or grab a coffee, or later, or whatever it is, or maybe pay a bit of an extra? I sometimes think by pushing people away with a reasonably high cost for breakfast, you're just pushing to a cafe around the corner, which will probably be half the price. And then for the rest of the day, they're going to do other stuff, and they won't come back, and they won't spend in your store. I'd like to know, I'm sure the hotels have thought about it, but I would like to know, is there a loss leader aspect to that, and what is the thought process?
Yeah, on that, I've seen hotels, sort of, the 5-star hotels do exactly the same. And having different price points on their hotel website versus an aggregator site like What If, and on What If maybe you'll have the same hotel showing unbundled price for breakfast versus a bundled price for breakfast for the same hotel, but the fixed price of the bundled price is very high. And I think it's almost too high, because it's not compelling you to buy that, like the total bundle, versus the unbundled option, which is equally as expensive and inconvenient. So overall, I think from what I've seen so far, the channel pricing is an issue. The understanding of why people buy is still an issue often in some hotels. I think they haven't got the optimal pricing, and my suspicion here is that it isn't really driving profitable revenue growth. I think it's still more in the testing or guessing phase, and I think a bit more work can be done there.
We often talk about strategy versus tactics and these sort of things, and sometimes I think we can be too focused on the up close. It's almost the old Shakespeare thing, you can't see the wood for the trees. And maybe what you're doing is you are getting those extra dollars from that breakfast here and there, and you can count it and allocate it, etc. But are people not going on your flight, your boat, your service because of that? You just have to look at people love all inclusives. They seem to love them. They do consume more, certainly for the first few days until they get bored of that consumption. But at the end of the day, people love cruise ships. People love all-inclusive holiday resorts because it literally means they can switch their brain off, and they're there. And when you're there, then you don't leave the resort, and you buy extras such as the tours, the trips, the massages, those sort of things that you do pay extra for. So you got to see things in the whole, in the entirety of it. And it's not just, sometimes if you're always looking at the exact detail, maybe you miss the big picture.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think if you look at different price options, bundling versus unbundling as like simply as a different option that people can select without thinking about the context in which they buy, how they've come to you, how they consume, going on holiday, what is it that they want from this holiday? How will that change their behavior? How will that change their mindset? You've got to think, and how they consume products and the perception of price points in different contexts. This is essentially where you start with bundling and unbundling. It's not the other way around. It's not simply just an option in a spreadsheet and then you tinker with the price points, which I still think a lot of, even in tourism and airlines, it's still about that. And I think people are forgetting the critical key source of pricing power, which is all about customer usage and consumption patterns.
Yeah, that's it from me today. So have a great day.
Yeah, thanks a lot.